cliches. When I say cliches, it's actually more than that. But we'll just call them cliches that are in the Bible that are spoken every day. If you knew how many there were, well, let's put it this way. We're going to spend maybe 2 weeks, maybe a little longer. We'll see how it goes. If it bombs, well, maybe one more week. But I've got a list here to give you that I'm not going to give you till after the service. And that's just page 1, and there's 122. And I've got 4 pages. Okay? And that's just the ones that somebody else saw. I had my own list. I had only like 80. But then I found this other list, and it had 420. So, and that's just the ones they saw. I see ones even now when I go and check these out. I say, well, there's another one. And what you find out is that you've been speaking the King James Bible all day, in every conversation that you've ever had. You've probably quoted the Bible, or at least you quoted, in your own terminology, a verse that's in the Bible, a principle in the Bible. So we're going to do that, and here's how I'd like to try it. We'll see if it works this week. Is I'm going to give you the verse. You're going to tell me the cliche. And obviously we're not going to get through all these, but there's a bunch of them. But first, let me talk to you about this. And that is, a cliche is an overused phrase or expression that has lost its originality and impact. You know, we just say things, you know. Repeat things, but we don't say them with emphasis. That's like a cliche. Well, it's more than that in the Bible. These are sayings that are more than just a cliche, because there's more to speech than just cliche. There's idiom. There's idioms in the Bible. And idiom are, and you don't have to memorize this, you don't have to know this, but I just want to give you some forms of speech that we're going to find when we're looking at these. Idioms, which are phrases whose meanings are not literal but understood through common usage. The example, bite the bullet. Okay? It's not literal, but it's common usage that you're going to put up with something, you're going to tolerate something, you're going to bite the bullet. Okay? Then there's aphorisms. These are concise statements that express a general truth or principle. Example, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay? So they're statements, but they express a general truth or principle. Then there are maxims. Maxims are short, pithy statements offering a rule of conduct or guiding principle. The example there is honesty is the best policy. Then there are adages. I'm looking at these. I didn't know half of these. Adages, traditional sayings that convey wisdom or advice, often time tested. Example, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And then there are proverbs. Proverbs are they're short, widely known sayings that express a universal truth or piece of advice. I would say they could also depart heavenly wisdom. The early bird catches the worm. That's the proverb they give you. Phrases. The definition, any small group of words that form a conceptual unit, often part of a larger sentence. You'd say, out of the blue, and then you would continue on. Just out of the blue, you know. That's just a phrase, but it's used to start a story, you know, maybe even end the story, I don't know. But then there's epigrams, witty or satirical statements with a punchy conclusion. And the example they give is, anyone's better at English than I am, so if you think of one that's a little bit better than this, I can resist everything except temptation. That was Oscar Wilde, reprobate. Anyway, but an epigram is a witty or satirical statement. Then there's colloquialisms. And these are informal words or expressions often tied to a specific region or group. Okay? They got on here, what's up? But probably the best one is y'all. Y'all's a colloquial. Down south, they'd say y'all. We know that the Apostle Paul was a Southerner because he was a Benjamite, because he says you all, you all. So those type of colloquial things, they're specific to the region you're in. That's why you have these, when they call it different dialect, a lot of times it's a lot of different colloquial terms, just the way they speak. Then you've got generational stuff like that. The way teenagers speak now, I don't understand a word they're saying. Okay? And if you get into Black Ebonics, I'm gone, man. I have no idea what they're talking about. Huh? Yeah. I'd rather you not. You could ask me, but please don't ask me. Okay. Anyway, then there are sayings. General term for commonly used phrases that convey ideas or sentiments. Examples: two wrongs don't make a right. Slang. Informal, often short-lived expressions used by specific social groups. They got an example here, and I've never spilled the tea. Come on, spill the tea. What do you think they're talking about? Give me the gossip. Spill the tea. Hot off the press. Give me the scoop. Loose lips sink ships. I think we live by the sayings and phrases. I think we live by it. Euphemisms. The definition of that is polite or mild phrases used to express something harsh or unpleasant. The example was, he passed away instead of died. He was let go instead of fired. She or he is in their golden years instead of they got old. Then there's hyperbole. And that's exaggerated statements not meant to be taken literally. Example: I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Okay? Now, how many of you think that God ever used hyperbole? Raise your hand. He absolutely did. He said about the Pharisees, he says, you strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. That's that, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. That's even bigger than a horse. It's a camel. He's giving you hyperbole to exaggerate the point that he's making. He said it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, and I think he's talking about a needle, not this cutout over there that they go through, where the camel has to stoop. Okay. Well, if the camel can get through it, then it's not that hard. But he said it's easier for it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter into heaven. And in the tribulation, that will be 100% true. Because if you're rich, or you have substance, or you've taken the mark and you can buy or sell, you're just gonna stay put, and nothing's going to be driving you to salvation. It says, "Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for the misery that shall come upon you." In James, I'm telling you, it'd be bad news for rich people in the tribulation. Okay, hyperbole. Then there's metaphors. Metaphors are figurative language comparing two things to illustrate a point. Example: time is a thief. Time is a thief? How about the television's a thief? I don't know. I've never heard of that. Time is a thief? That doesn't even make sense to me. It does? Okay. Similes. Comparisons using like or as. You say, as busy as a bee. That's a simile. Then you have catchphrases. Memorable phrases often associated with a person, group, or trend. Example: I'll be back. Catchphrase. Now, some of those are all overlapping, but there's 15 of them, right? Well, actually, with cliche, there's 16. Yep. This is true. I don't know I wonder if we find any of those in the Bible. Find out old Yogi's been quoting the scriptures. I don't know. Yeah, he had some. What's the famous one? Deja vu all over again. I remember when Greg Eastep literally fell out of the pulpit talking about that. He laughed so hard. I didn't think he was going to be able to regain his composure. He was laughing so hard. And I didn't even get it. Probably for years, man. I'm like, what? So anyway, Dr. Ruckman had one. He called them spoonerisms, where they get the thing backward. What's the one? Netherleck instead of leathernecks. And it was a wartime thing, and some woman's on there, and she could not get that out. And everybody else is like, hey, okay, but what is funny to one man might not be funny to another. But it says it's all these things about speech. English I know why God chose English. It is so descriptive. There's so much to it. I don't know about all the languages, but the languages that I've dealt with, like Romanian, I think there were like 3 times the amount of words compared to their language. There's 3 times more. Sometimes they'll say, but the Latin base is more descriptive, more passionate. And maybe in some areas it might be. But when it comes to overall words, the English language is just phenomenal. It's just because I don't know them doesn't mean they're not there. So, I'm very limited. Anyway, so there's 15 different things. So what we're going to do now is, and these are in no specific order. Some of them are so obvious, it's actually and I'm just going to call them cliche. The cliche is right in the verse. Can't miss it. But you wouldn't know it's in there unless you've really been reading your Bible. Then you start catching these things. You ought to underline them or underline the passage and then give the cliche that you know goes with that little portion, because it's not always word for word, and sometimes you derive it from the verse. Okay, Job 26:3. Job 26:3. Somebody tell me what it is. Tell it like it is. Job 26:3. Now, if you want to know all the other sayings that go along with that, there's a few of them. Call a spade, lay it all out on the table, speak your mind, say what you mean and mean what you say, cut to the chase, no sugarcoating, shoot from the hip, give it to me straight, don't beat around the bush. What do you think that one would go to? The burning bush. Remember Moses is running around the bush with a snake chasing him? Don't beat around the bush. That's where these things came from. Lay it on the line, spit it out. But tell it like it is. Do you realize that's one of the things he'll ask you at the judgment seat of Christ? Did you tell it like it was? Did you tell it like it is in the scriptures? Or did you candy coat it? Or did you suppress it? Did you tell people what it's all about? That's what he'll want to know. All right. Isaiah 40, verse 15. This one's easy. I'll tell you what, give me both of them. There's 2 of them in there at least. Isaiah 40, verse 15. Drop in the bucket. That one's pretty obvious, but there's another one in there. Okay, there's another one. Possible or a speck of dust in the universe? You're nothing but a speck of dust in the universe. Okay. See any more? No, you might not. I don't know. But it seemed like that thing's loaded with them right there. You got that from there? Okay. We can find that one in Genesis too. Huh? Weight in the balance. Yeah, y'all getting ahead of me though. Huh? All right, let's not get weird. Isaiah 52:8. Yep. See how good you are at it. Isaiah 52, verse 8. Okay. Sing eye to eye. Yep. Go ahead. Well, let me go ahead and read it. If I'd have printed these out, I'd have needed 16 pages. Isaiah 52, verse 8. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice, with the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when the Lord shall bring again Zion. So seeing eye to eye. And then Jeremiah 2:13, and I can read it. For my people have committed two evils and have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Yep, doesn't hold water, or his opinion doesn't hold water. Okay. All right, about Genesis 7:7. I think this is one you're going to have to think about. Some of you get it pretty quick, though. 7:7 and verse 16, that's the two verses. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. I'm sorry, it's 6. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Then verse 16, and they went in male and female of all flesh as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Huh? Shut in? Yeah. That's one. That's not the one I thought about, but that'll work. I'm sorry? Well, yeah, who knows? Yeah. Another one? Okay. Okay. See how many you're getting? And you've not even got the one I got written down yet. Didn't they miss the boat? I mean, you have to derive it. It's not really, but they missed the boat. All right. Look at Job 38:18. Job 38:18. Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all. Yeah, he's a know-it-all. Okay. Job 41:24. Now hold off on saying it out loud. Let's give some folks a chance here. Job 41:24. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of nether millstone. A heart of stone. Yeah. And I've got two other verses for that. 1 Samuel 25:37. Yeah, about Nabal, yep. His heart turned to stone. And Zechariah 7:12, I'll turn there. Zechariah 7:12. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words and so on and so forth. I'm sorry? 1 Samuel 25:37. All right. Luke 21:2. I had to check all these. All 100. Well, I did 95% of them. And I even corrected some of them, but Luke 21:2. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in hither 2 mites. Put in your 2 cents worth. Isn't that something? Are you going to put in your 2 cents? I'm just quoting the Bible all the time. How about Proverbs 14:23? I told you these are all over, so you're getting your... Proverbs 14:23. And it says there, in all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. Yeah, talk is cheap. Couple others that would go with that is all talk and no action. And the Texans say, big hat, no cattle. A lot of big talk, but you don't have nothing, Big hat, no cattle. I like that one. I don't know when I'll use it, but I like it. All right. Y'all doing okay? All right, look at 1 Kings 3:7. 1 Kings 3:7. If I looked up all the different sayings that went along with these sayings, the list is, I just did like about 7 or 8 of these, and I got more than I could handle. 1 Kings 3:7. The next one we'll do that. I'll give you some extras. 1 Kings 3:7. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. Don't know whether he's coming or going. There you go. All right, Judges 9. And you might think of some more. If you think of some more, yell it out. Yeah, okay. Yep, Judges 9. And I didn't trim this one down. He's got 5 verses on this. Let's see if we can. Judges 9, verse 8. And the trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them, and they said unto the olive tree, reign thou over us. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? And the tree said to the fig tree, come thou reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, now they keep going down through there till they get to the bramble, okay? Now this is one you got to derive from it. They keep asking these trees, and all the trees keep turning them down. Huh? What are they doing? Aren't they barking up the wrong tree? Huh? You're barking up the wrong tree. Now, I got a few more here. You're missing the mark, on the wrong track, off the beaten path, chasing rainbows, fishing in the wrong pond, grasping at straws, taking the wrong road, hitting a dead end, looking for a needle in the wrong haystack, and going down a rabbit hole. Okay. Let's see. John 8:53. That's not what I'm in the wrong book. No wonder it ain't making sense. John 8, verse 53. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Whom makest thou thyself? Huh? Who do you think you are? John 8:53. Isaiah 65:5. Isaiah 65:5, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. Now that was a hard one. Holier than thou. Okay, Genesis 4:8. This is an easy one. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Oh, come on, folks. Raising Cain. Isn't that what they say? Huh? Good Chicken, Raising Cane? Is that a name of a restaurant? Oh. All right. 1 Kings 18. We won't go over today because I know this is wearying some of you. Oh, this Bible, I don't know if I can take it. 1 Kings 18, look at verse 26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it and called on the name of Baal from morning even till noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped upon the altar which was made. It came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them. He said, cry aloud, for he is a god. Either he is talking or pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awaked. So we would say, you know what this is? Okay, give you the first hint again. And they took a bullock which was given them. Huh? Just a bunch of bull. Just a bunch of bull. Sleeping on the job, yeah. There's probably a bunch of them connected with, why he's not there, while Baal's not there to answer. Okay, how about Proverbs 6, 26 to 28. Proverbs 6, 26 to 28. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? If you play with fire, you're going to get burned. Okay. Revelation 2, other in the Bible. Revelation 2, look at verse 20 to 22. We haven't gone through 18 of them, or 20 of them yet. Revelation 2, verse 20 to 22. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication, to eat things sacrificed unto idols. I gave her space to repent, and of her fornication she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. Yep. Okay, we'll do this one last one here. And I've just gone in order. There's 122 just on this page. 2 Kings 9. Let's see. Verse 36. I'm sorry. I should have gave you the verse there. 2 Kings 9. Verse 36, it says, wherefore they came again and told him and said, this is the word of the Lord, which he spake by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, in the portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel. Huh? Yeah, that one would fit, actually. Notice he mentions the place. We'd say this place is going to the dogs. Okay, now I've got a few more here. Going downhill, falling apart at the seams, circling the drain, going to rack and ruin. I don't think I've ever heard that one, going to rack and ruin. Turning into a shambles, going to pot, down the tubes, everything's going south. Turning into a train wreck, becoming a shadow of his former self, going up in smoke, heading for the gutter. Now I know those have nothing to do with the text, but the same sentiment. This place is going to the dogs. There's probably more like dog eat dog. There's probably something to that. All right, we're going to stop there because I'm actually going to be able to stop on time. I'm going to give you, we could go through this list, but we have 4 more pages, okay? And I'll let you kind of go through this list, and maybe you can tell me some of your favorites out of this. No, you can take one. Okay, I got plenty, I think. Huh? We're done.